Here we go again. Married at First Sight UK, Episode 8, Part 2. Next in the hot seat were Frankie and Marie. Now, initially, when these two sat down, they seemed cosy enough, they looked comfortable enough. But things start to get a little bit sticky. One thing I noticed straight away was whenever questions were shot in their direction, Frankie answered most of the questions. Frankie did most of the talking. Marie kept looking up at Frankie to think, shall I say anything? Or do you want me to say anything? Or should I speak or let you speak first? That bloody irritated me. That there, I'm thinking, oh, I'm not liking this. This comes across too controlling. Whenever the experts threw a question, it was always him answering. Eventually, Blondie matchmaker, oh, she was seeing what I was seeing. She had to stop it in its tracks and ask Marie directly. Even then, Marie was smiling. Why are you smiling? Why are you looking at him as well when you're smiling? Answer the frigging question. Don't sit there looking at him waiting for his permission to talk. You had a voice before you met him. How comes all of a sudden you don't seem to have one? Oh, I am not feeling this. No. I don't care how much you lot have in common. I am not feeling this. As I mentioned at the beginning, he sounded a bit like a drill sergeant. I did say that in one of my videos. And it comes across this way here. Very controlling. And then when it came on to the subject of him living in Dubai, oh, that there was a red flag. Did you see how quickly he let go of her hand? And how his palms were sweating? And so was hers. That there was awkward to watch. All of a sudden, he was fidgeting so much with his hands, he just couldn't keep still after that. His hands were telling me everything I need to know. He was playing around with his watch whilst answering the question. He doesn't want to move. He said he's got big balls. No, he's not ready for this. It's not a drastic move he wants to make. He would rather her to have moved to Dubai. It would make life so much easier for him. And plus at the same time, I wouldn't want her to be away from her family because I would look at him very narcissistically. Because there he has more control over her than if she was back at home amongst family and friends that can see the red flags. Yep, red flags. When it came to the sex, that was no big deal. What you do in your bedrooms is not a big deal to me. But the rest of it, of that conversation, mannerisms and the behaviours, oh no. I see sociopath, narcissist, all the red flags. This is not looking good. Not looking good at all. I did have high hopes for these guys, but now all I see is red flags. I really don't have anything more to say on this one. Next in the hot seat were Bob and Megan. Started off on a good note. Yeah, reminiscing about the wedding day and how Bob described Megan as very much like, the film Titanic. Yeah, my girl coming down the staircase looking like the most beautiful thing in the world. But that was short-lived. Next minute, we're talking about Bob and his personality and how it doesn't sit well with Megan. She doesn't see the true, authentic side of him. And he had to agree. He does that to cover his insecurities, behaving like a clown, the whole 9 yards. It looks like at the dinner party, them two were two separate entities. They weren't really together. They put up with each other. Well, let's put it this way. She put up with him. That's what I've concluded with that initial first 2 minutes on the couch. It was soon thereafter that she turned around and said, "I'm wasting our time." Those were the words she used. I feel like I'm wasting our time. And then, of course, Bob burst into tears. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Ugh. Ugh. Where do we go from here? And then his tears seemed to have dried up because she brought it back. She brought that conversation back from the brink by saying they had their first real conversation that morning. And with that real conversation, she saw a glimmer of hope. Yes, that's what she said. Now she's having a rethink. Oh, I don't know. I give up. Where do we go from here? So in conclusion, they've both decided to stay. Next we have Jordan and Alexis. I don't know where to start with this one. This conversation went downhill virtually the minute their bottoms touched that seat. Oh my goodness me. First of all, it was initially about the type of woman he likes. Yeah. The type of woman he likes. The blonde hair, the blue eyes, tall and tanned. Yeah, you know where I'm going with this. Then she started crying. Like I said, their bottoms hadn't even touched the seat yet. And we're already in a state of distress. Oh, this is terrible. This is terrible. And he was already sitting there looking gormless like he normally does, on the defensive. She's sitting one end of the couch, he's sitting on the other end of the couch. And, I don't know. And then Blondie again, matchmaker, she wanted to hear Alexis' point of view on this. And she said he was digging her out in regards to the type of woman he prefers. And also digging out her career. Everything wrong about her aggressiveness, all of it. And then when they went, what's that water sports they did? Yeah, you know where I'm going with that. She was scared of the deep blue sea and he did nothing to comfort her. Yeah, all of it came out. I'm tired already. Then the conversation took another level. It went another decibel up. Yeah, she started. Yeah, she was upset. She started. She went in, telling him about himself and about his lying. His lying. Don't make her out to be like worse than she really is. You could see he's sitting there trying to pretend like he's the good guy. Yeah, because he's not shouting. He's not, you mean, as far as he's concerned, he's a good guy, which is what we know as passive aggressive. That type of behaviour he's got going on there. So it makes her out to be like she's a crazy woman when she's not. At one point of that conversation, he was turning around saying that he got scared for his life. He was afraid she was going to hit him. Is this guy serious? Is he serious? Is he really that serious? I can see it with Nikita, definitely. But with my girl here, Alexis, nah. No. No. Don't try and make her out to be a crazy banshee like Miss Nikita. She's nothing like her. But he was scared for his life, he says. At one point, I thought she was going to hit me. Oh, I just want to bloody laugh. Mr. Matchmaker could see this was getting out of control. He tried to stop it. It just wasn't working. My girl got off her seat. She said, no, I'm not doing this. So she walked out. It was, oh God, what's her name? It was Amy that ran behind her to try and calm her down. And as she said, as Amy did say, he's gaslighting you. Exactly what he is doing. He's gaslighting you. But you're falling into that spiral because you're so heaped up, you're so het up about the whole situation and not being able to put your point across. So as my girl says, as Amy said to her, go back in there because you've got more to say. So sit down, have it out, say what you need to say, and hopefully we get to the bottom of this. Oh, I forgot to mention that While she was outside talking to Amy, the cameras were still rolling with Jordan, and he made a point of saying that he hates how everybody keeps digging at him because he has a type. And to be honest, I have to agree with him. As Mr. Matchmaker said, they both established that they weren't each other's type, but they were willing to try. But then Mr. Matchmaker turned around and said, "But Jordan, you gave it too early," whilst Alexis was still trying. And yep, I have to agree. It was shortly after that they had to make their decision whether to stay or leave. Starting with Alexis, she put to leave. Then when it came on to Jordan's turn, he had something to say first. He then started relaying what had happened the night before at the dinner party. He mentioned about him and Megan having a conversation. They got close. And they actually exchanged a kiss. Yes, Jordan and Megan exchanged a kiss. They both cheated on their partners. That's right, they did. God help us. Now, the whole floor is in shock. The amount of gasps within the room was, oh, I can't. This is too much. So he sat there telling the story about how Megan told him a lie. That's virtually what it was. She told him that she had been trying and that Bob hadn't been. When it was totally the opposite way round, as we heard. He's been trying, she hasn't. So he had made the decision to stay, thinking that him and Megan were going to try and be together. But after hearing Megan and Bob on the couch, and that she's going to try with Bob, and like I said, the lie that she had already told, he's decided he wants nothing more to do with her. Yes, he did say that. Yes, he did. He no longer wants anything to do with her. She's a liar. She's a liar. He threw her under the bus. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He was not going to protect her. Oh God, I want to laugh. This is too funny. This is too funny. This is too funny. You're too fast. That's what happened there. You were too fast. Woo! Oh God, help me. Yes. Megan, you got what you deserved. Alexis was in shock. Bob was in shock. Then Bob was in tears. And at the same time cussing. What a drama. What a drama. When Bob was asked whether he had anything to say, all he could say was thanks to Jordan for telling him, but at the same time he called him a prick and he has no respect for him. That was virtually it. Then he burst out crying again. Then it just got all too much for him that he got up and walked out. Then all the guys followed him to try and comfort him. And then the question went to Alexis next about whether she had anything to say. She started off by saying that her and Megan had a conversation the night before, about Megan being Jordan's type. But that wasn't her giving her the go-ahead to crack on with her husband. She's still in a committed marriage, which is the point she was making. And yes, I agree. It wasn't the go-ahead. All Megan heard from that conversation was blonde hair, blue eyes, and that was a green light she needed. She also said to Megan she couldn't understand why Megan would cheat on Bob. He's such a nice guy. He didn't deserve that. Something like that, she said. And then behind that, she says, "You know nothing about girl code." And it was at that point, Miss Megan got off her seat and walked out. Up until that point, Megan hadn't shown any emotion. She didn't show any embarrassment, nothing at all, until Alexis mentioned the girl code. It was at that point the emotions took over. When Bob came back into the room, he did speak again, to Jordan and again thanked him for telling him. And at the same time, he did say to him that if he had gone behind his back, he would have seen him as a scum. But he could see there's a good side to him as well. So it was at that point he got up off his seat, went over to Jordan and shook his hand. Yep, he did. Yes, he did. And it was Mr. Matchmaker that turned around and called him a stand-up guy. Called Bob a stand-up guy. Because not many men would have done that. Believe me. Believe me. It was soon after that Megan came back into the room. She apologised sincerely to Bob and again apologised to Alexis. And Bob accepted her apology. Yes, he did. We know he's a big softie. And behind that, he wished her the best in life. It was at that point she burst out crying. I don't know. What are we going to do with these two? I'm absolutely exhausted. This is tiring. Poor Bob. Poor Alexis. Before I forget to mention, Alexis wrote leave and Mr. Matchmaker turned around and said at the end of the show that this is the end of both their journeys. So both Jordan and Alexis were to leave. Yep, you heard me. Both of them. Even though Mr. Jordan put stay, but he put stay for the wrong reasons. He wanted to get with Meg. So that was a shocker. I thought, oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that. So that was the end of that. Again, another short-lived couple. Oh, this is becoming a pattern. I feel sorry for Alexis because, as we saw from the night before, things looked like they were picking up for her in regards to her and Ant. You could see an attraction forming there between those two. And now this happens. Finally, as they were getting up off their seats, Bob went over and hugged Megan, gave her a big, big hug. I couldn't believe it. This guy is too soft. Well, it's not too soft. This guy's got such a kind heart. He doesn't deserve this. Even after what she did, he was still willing to go over, give her a hug. And they held that hug for a while, to be honest. And then he let go. And then she fell to the floor in floods of tears. Yep, that's how the episode ended. Not one of her girlfriends came to her rescue. Yes, that's what happened. Not one. Well, what more can I say? So that's the end of this review. If you like what you've heard, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.